All right, so it's Tuesday, August 15th, around 3 o'clock, and I'm going to walk through some of the changes that we've introduced to MailMentor over the last few days. Um, Really, what we're focused on in this big update here are a couple things. It's being able to connect into external systems, and for that, we are allowing webhooks to occur, and I'll show you how that works. And then the other major change is in the browser plugin. So we have added the entity extraction mechanism to our browser so that at any page you're viewing, you can extract the data from that page and store it in your prospects database. So I'll walk you through kind of both of those pieces real quick here. The first one is let's say we want to set up here a Zap to an external system. Let's say I have like this lead sheet and I want to zap data from MailMentor into my lead sheet. What I can do here is I can load up a Zapier if it cooperates, and I can tell it to give me a webhook, just like that. I'm going to check catch webhook because that's an incoming webhook into Zapier. I'm going to do I'm going to skip the trigger because I don't need this necessarily to do that part. And then for the test, I'm going to grab this URL here, which is our webhook URL. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go into the MailMentor platform. You go to View Accounts, and as soon as this loads up, give me a second now. So under View Accounts here, there's a new section down here for webhooks. And currently we only support one webhook, and that's when a contact is created. So that's when you take a prospect and you add it to a list. So I'll show you how that works, but I'm going to go ahead and just add this new webhook here. I'm going to delete the old one just so we don't get confused. But I'm going to add this new webhook here. And I'm going to go ahead and save this guy just like that. So now anytime a contact is created, a webhook will kick off. So I can go ahead and test that by going to my prospects tab, and I can kind of go through here as it shows up, and I can go and I could say, maybe I'm going to add Richard Branson, which is somebody who came up in a prospect search for me. I'm going to add him to my demo list here. So as soon as I added him, a webhook kicks off. I mean, it takes usually a few seconds. It should be relatively instantaneous, but we'll see the webhook actually show up here in Zapier any second. If I click test trigger, it should show up soon. There it is right there, Richard Branson. So first name, last name, email, company is all coming in an email, which is a unique identifier for that particular contact in the MailMentor system. What I could do is I can continue with selected records and say I want to send this all to that Google Sheet that I was telling you about before. So I can go Sheets, Google Sheets here, and I'm going to choose, and then I'm going to go create row. I think it's literally create spreadsheet row, that one. And I'll go continue, and then I'm going to choose my account here. I'll choose this one and continue, and then I'm going to go to choose a value, MailMentor. Actually, I'm not going to do that drive. I'm going to do a particular spreadsheet called leads sheets, which is the one that I have up here. It's lead sheet. Yep. And then I'm going to go to the worksheet. It's going to be the first worksheet in the system. And I'm going to go first name. It's just going to come out from first name, last name, company's version group, and the email. This is the email that the prospector is estimating. And if I click continue, I can do a test, and we'll see. Hopefully that show up in a second. Oh, there it goes. Boom, Richard showed up here. So now that new lead is actually in this lead sheet. So with that, I mean, I can publish this. I'm not going to publish it, but I could publish this, and which means that every time I added the contact to a list, then it would get added to that particular Google Sheet. Now, obviously, with Zapier, you can have really intricate web flows. You can send the data off to HubSpot or any other CRM or kind of really anywhere you want. But we're just helping people kind of collect the data, the lead data, and send it into a separate system with this feature. So that is how the changes to the webhook system work. And remember, if the user is showing up here, the contact is showing up here, this is not one of your contacts. This is one of your prospects here, right? So you have to add the prospect to a list in order for it to become one of your contacts. This is kind of like claiming that prospect, just like that. So, so that's how that works. So the next thing I'm going to walk through is a change that we have added to the prospecting plugin here. So this Copilot. And what we've done is we've set it up so that there's two ways that the Copilot can work within the browser plugin. One of the ways that it can work is by crawling a page. Now, it doesn't work on LinkedIn for varying reasons, but it does work on other websites. So if you're on a website somewhere and you want to kick off a crawl and you want to crawl through and collect all of the leads that you find from that website, then the tool works on those type of pages. But if you're on LinkedIn, what you can actually do is you can actually come to a contact, say this Ashlyn person seems like maybe a good prospect for me. If I click this, what it'll automatically do is it will actually take the website that's currently in view, it extracts the data, and then it'll take the data, it will try to enrich it, it will try to estimate the email addresses for Ashlyn if she doesn't have one listed here, and then it'll store that in my prospect database, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to try to do a search as well. So let's say I'm looking for, Tahoe, I guess interior designers. Did I spell that right? So, we have like maybe a handful of interior designers in Tahoe here. And I'm going to pull these guys in. Looks like some of these people were coming from different areas, but, Emily Rose, which is a good one. So, or Ruse, I guess. And I want to add her. All I have to do is click the plugin and that'll bookmark her. So that'll actually extract the data, take it, and then store it into the prospect database. So if I go back to prospects here and I refresh, give it a quick refresh, it usually takes about a minute or so for the data to find its way through the varying systems. It looks like these are still loading, but we'll see Emily show up in a second. And actually, I can do full extraction as well of an index view like this. So like if I want to pull all of these contacts in, I can do that as well by just clicking this, and that will run the entity recognizer and pull all prospects from this view as well into the prospecting workflow as well. So let's see if it showed up. If any of these guys have showed up yet. It usually takes a couple seconds. Emily Roos, there it is right there. And I think was the other one Laura? That might have been the other one. May have been Laura. I'm not really sure. I can't remember exactly who it was, but so it's Emily right there. So I can go ahead and add. I can check out her LinkedIn profile for the websites. I can look through her profile, etc. Look at the her individual website if I wanted to take a look at that and kind of get a feel for if she makes sense. And I want to kind of advance her to the next step. And maybe it seems like it does, so I'm just going to go ahead and add her to a list. And just like I showed you before, that will then find its way through Zapier all the way to my lead sheet. I'd have to, I guess, publish this again, but we can look to confirm that this works here by, I guess, finding new records. It should show up here. Yeah, so that's the Dominic guy that I added. Looks like Emily's coming in as well. So yeah, that's how the system works. Again, the new big updates are the prospecting Copilot. We have the ability to extract entities from any site that you're viewing, and then there's the ability to take the data and send it via webhook anywhere, really. But in this case, to Zapier. But this is just kind of an overview of those two things. And let me know if there's any questions or issues, and I'll let you kind of play around with this a little bit and let me know what you think.